Have you ever wished you had a time machine for your sentences? You know, a way to make it absolutely clear what happened before something else happened in the past? Well, that's pretty much what the past perfect tense is. It can feel a little tricky, I know, but trust me, by the end of this, you're going to feel like a pro. So, let's dive right in. To get us started, I've got a little puzzle for you. On the next slide, you're going to see two different events. Just ask yourself, which one happened first? Okay, so your brain probably filled in the gaps immediately, right? Of course you lost your keys, then you couldn't get in. But look closely at the grammar. The sentences themselves don't actually connect the two events. They're just two separate facts. This little problem of timing is exactly what the past perfect was made to fix. Yeah, that lack of a clear connection, that ambiguity, that's the whole reason this tense exists. It's this incredibly powerful tool that brings a clear order to all the events in our stories. And here is the single most important thing to get. The past perfect isn't really about just one event in the past. It's always about the relationship between two or more past events. Its whole job, its only job, is to signal which one happened first. It's all about the sequence. I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. The past perfect is the past of the past. Just imagine the simple past tense takes you from today back to yesterday, while the past perfect is the grammar time machine that takes you from yesterday to the day before that. It's that one extra step back in time. This timeline makes it so clear. Here we are at now. Before that, in the simple past, we have the moment I arrived at the station. But the past perfect, that takes us even further back on the timeline to an even earlier event. The train left. The past perfect always describes that first action. And look how beautifully it works in a sentence. When I arrived at the station, the train had left. That little word had just locks the train's departure into that earliest spot on our timeline. It's totally impossible to misunderstand the order of events now. Okay, so now we got the why. Let's move on to the how. And here's the good news. The formula for building this tense is so easy and it's always the same. It's really just a simple three-step recipe. You start with your subject, then you add the magic word had, and this is the best part. Had never ever changes. It's the same for I, you, she, they, everybody. And then you just finish it off with a past participle of your main verb. You know, words like eaten, seen, or finished. And you can see just how predictable that formula is. For a positive sentence, she had finished. To make it negative, you just add not to get hadn't. They hadn't seen. And if you want to ask a question, you just flip the subject and had. Had you cleaned? See? It's that simple every time. All right, ready for a pro tip? Think of this next part like grammar cheat codes. There are these signal words in English that are a dead giveaway that you probably need to use the past perfect. Once you learn how to spot them, it just becomes second nature. So here are the most common ones. Before and after are kind of obvious, right? They're all about sequence. But the one to really keep an eye out for is by the time. When you see that phrase, it is a huge clue that the past perfect is right around the corner, describing whatever was already done at that specific point in the past. Okay, so we've got the concept, we've got the formula. Now let's put all the pieces together and look at how to use it perfectly. And maybe more importantly, what common mistakes you need to avoid. Let's go all the way back to our first puzzle. With the past perfect, we can finally connect those two ideas perfectly. I couldn't get in because I had lost my keys. Boom. Now the cause and effect are totally locked in. The key losing happened before the problem at the door. This is why this tense is so important. It creates total clarity. Now this is probably the number one mistake people make, mixing up the present perfect with the past perfect. But the rule is actually pretty simple. Just look at your main anchor point in time. In this sentence, it's I came, that's simple past. Since your anchor is in the past, any action that happened before it has to go one step further back, into the past of the past. It has to be I had eaten. And one final super important tip, don't go crazy with it. Don't overuse it. Seriously, if the sequence of events is already totally obvious, you don't need the past perfect. In a sentence like, I opened the door and walked in, we all know the order. The simple past is just cleaner and more direct. You should save the past perfect for when you really need to untangle a confusing timeline. Okay, so to wrap this all up, here's a little challenge to get you practicing. Imagine the police are questioning you about a crime last night. They want to know where you were at 8 p.m. So what do you tell them? What had you already done by the time 8 p.m. rolled around? Think about it. You're literally using the past perfect to build your alibi. And that's your grammar time machine in action.